Hi, I'm Julia. I work for Field to Family, and I'm here today with Shay and Anna from Over the Moon Flower Farm, a farm in Coggan that does not only flowers, but they grow sweet corn, they raise animals, they have eggs, all kinds of great stuff. And they're going to spend a little time today talking about their farm. So, would you guys like to say a little bit about yourselves and your farm?
So I'm Anna, and I'm one of the co-owners and farmers at Over the Moon Farm and Flowers in Coggan. And my favorite part about being a farmer is collecting eggs every day from our chickens and harvesting flowers to make bouquets.
Hi, and I'm Shay. My favorite thing to do on the farm is raising the livestock. I love baby animals and I love getting out there and playing with the baby animals.
Great. So, are those the things that made you to want to be farmers, or was there something else that inspired you to start a farm?
Well, when I was growing up, when I was a kid, I was in 4-H and I participated in the county fair and I really loved raising rabbits actually. I had a lot of rabbits when I was young and it really sparked my passion for agriculture and I knew it was what I wanted to do when I grew up. And here I am farming now.
Yeah, and I really like all of the different ways that we get to interact with the community in the day to day. I really like delivering flowers that we grow to people's doorsteps. And I really like talking to people like you at schools and elders in our community and the whole range of people. So that's something that sparked my desire to have a farm like ours.
So let's talk about the flowers you grow on your farm a little bit. Obviously, when you go on a walk in the woods, there are wildflowers. When you go to the grocery store, you might see bouquets of flowers for people to buy. Why do you guys farm flowers on your farm?
Well, one reason that we grow flowers is because we really like to brighten people's day, and flowers are a really good way for to spread joy. So that was part of why we started growing them. And then the other part was that we knew we could grow a lot of flowers in not a huge amount of space, and that they would be something that people wanted, that people were excited about getting, and that they grow really well here in Iowa. We have really good soil. We have a nice summer growing season. And so we felt like it was a good choice for where we live and what we're doing.
Obviously, it takes a lot of hard work to grow flowers. They don't just magically appear out of the ground, especially the kinds of flowers you guys are growing. What does it take to grow a flower? How do flowers grow, and what do you guys do to take care of them?
Right now in the spring, that's where we're at right now, and we're planting a lot of the stuff outside. Some of the stuff gets the seeds get put directly in the ground outside, and then some of the seeds we start in little trays in soil, and then they get planted out into our fields, and we plant them into the dirt, and the sun and the rain help them grow. And when it's time to come and harvest them, we cut them at the stem and we put them in fresh water. Yeah.
What kinds of things do the flowers need to grow from little tiny seeds into beautiful, colorful flowers?
Mm. So the first thing that they need is soil to grow in, and they need soil that has lots of different nutrients, just like people need lots of different food and lots of different nutrients to live. Plants do too. So they need soil that has all the good nourishing things in it. And then they need sunlight. They need a lot of light. So even the plants that we start in those little trays, like Shay mentioned, we start them either under lights, if it's still cold outside, or we start them in a greenhouse outside. So they need lots of light to grow. And then they also need water. So we rely on the rain to help us out for some things that are grown in the field. And then we also use hoses to do irrigation. So making sure that we can get the flowers water. And then we have to make sure that there isn't weeds like grass growing over the flowers. We have to make sure that they have a nice, clear, big spot to grow and for their roots to grow deep.
So, Anna and Shay, you guys not only grow flowers, but you raise animals like chickens and pigs on your farm, and you grow vegetables like corn, sweet corn for people to eat. So, something that is really important in Iowa is corn. We have fields and fields of corn growing, and a lot of the times the corn that's growing in Iowa and the corn that people eat aren't necessarily the same kind of corn. So could you guys talk a little bit about the corn you grow for your animals to eat and the corn you grow for people to eat?
The sweet corn that we grow for people to eat is a certain variety just to eat fresh, or that you get in a can of corn or frozen corn. But when you see corn on the side of the road getting sold, that's sweet corn. The field corn that's growing when you're driving down the highways, that's for mainly animal feed, that they feed the pigs and the cows, they feed that corn too. And it's also made into other products too, but they're two different types of corn.
So if a person took an ear of field corn, so the same kind of corn that maybe your pigs or your chickens are eating, how would that taste for them, do you think?
It would taste really starchy.
Yes.
And not as good.
Not as good as sweet corn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as sweet as sweet corn. No.
And I think the other thing, so sweet corn, we just planted ours. So you plant it alongside field corn. So they get planted at the same time in this early May time. But the sweet corn we harvest and enjoy. Ours will be ready about at the end of July. And the field corn, it stays out in that field and it gets dried before it gets harvested. And that doesn't happen until the fall. So all the sweet corn gets picked and far before the field corn.
So the field corn is picked while it's still kind of soft, it sounds like, so people can cook it and bite into it. Whereas the field corn, when it's picked, is dry, maybe harder, like popcorn kernels almost. And that can be fed to animals or ground into grains, or even used in corn syrup to be used in other food products that you find at the store. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for explaining the kinds of corn to us, Anna and Shay. Very informational. If there were any kids in the classroom watching this video who were curious about farming or thought maybe they want to be farmers when they grow up, what's a tip you would give them?
The tip that I would give would be to follow your passions. I was really passionate about agriculture growing up too. And so following kind of following my passions and dreams, I feel like has led us here. So
yeah, I've followed what I really wanted to do. And yeah, like what Anna said, I followed my dreams, and I've always known I wanted to farm, and I made it happen.